we've been through a lot, and it's the smart thing and the right thing to put on a good face and to talk positively, because that's what we've got to do. And at this other time, in the other way, we have to agree that it sucks. That it sucks. But we will rebuild, and we are resilient, and we are Pacific Palisades.
Aww.
And that is the reality of it. But actor Steve Guttenberg is spreading positive energy on social media to the Palisades community. He was very active in helping neighbors get to safety during the fire.
And he joins us live right now from New York to talk about the recovery effort 6 months later. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. And I'm so glad that the first thing we're not talking about is there is a fire. We're saying there was a fire.
Yes.
And we're gonna rebuild, and we're resilient. But yeah, it really does suck that the town is gone and the Altadena people are struggling with that, and so many people are displaced. But this is the time that tests us, right? In biblical terms, this is the time that we have to rise up, come together, and be strong, and know that everything is going to be okay.
And we love your positive energy. I do want to walk back to when that fire happened in your neighborhood. You were clearing out vehicles to get out of the way so emergency crews could just go ahead and get through. You and your neighbors, you stayed in the Palisades for several days after those fires to help put out the spot fires there. You didn't have any electricity. Can you describe what it was like helping people in your community then and what you've been doing now?
Well, that first photo you saw where the big plume of smoke was there, I was having a cup of coffee and I saw that, and I didn't know what it was. So I drove toward my house, and there was bumper-to-bumper traffic on Sunset, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Palisades Drive. And I saw that the fire was coming, and the police and emergency and the fire people told everybody to abandon their cars because the fire was coming. So everybody abandoned their cars. And I don't know why, I just thought I've got to start moving cars. So I started moving cars out of the way so emergency vehicles could get through and get up to the highlands and get to that fire. And then, you know, my dad used to say, run toward the danger if you're able, and run away if you're not. Well, I was able, and I stayed for 7 days. Now, I don't know how smart that was, because I had a cough and pulmonary issues for about 100 days after that. I stayed, and I think me and a few other of my neighbors saved a lot of homes in the Palisades, and maybe a lot of family feelings and futures. So, but I'm not the only one that was working there. There were so many people working for the community, and everybody working in Altadena. But it was a very tough 7 days. We had electricity, but we had no gas, so there was no heat, and we had no water, because by the first day, all the water was gone. The reservoirs were empty. So we had to use pool water, and that's what the fire department used, as well as using water trucks to fill up their 500-gallon fire trucks.
Yeah, and
I
Steve,
got to tell you something, the fire people and the emergency people, the police, were fantastic, and so were you, all the people in the media and in the news business, bringing food up to us. It was a pretty fantastic how we all came together.
I mean, we absolutely did come together, and I love how your father said run toward the danger if you're able to, and that's something where we see whenever natural disasters happen all over the country, all over the world. But talking a little bit about you, you're now bi-coastal. You live in New York, but you travel to LA, obviously, and thankfully you still have your home, but at this point, you can't live in it. I mean, tell us a little bit about your recovery and what's happening in your community.
Well, I'm not the only one I have plenty of friends who lost their homes in a total loss. And that's just beyond tragic. There's no words. And I have a house, but it's going to take about a year to remediate and to make it whole again. And I'm not alone. So many other people have that issue. And it's a tough time. The insurance companies have been terrific. Allstate and State Farm and Chubb and Pure and AIG. All the companies that are working have been terrific and doing with their best, because it's really a tough situation. Then everybody's negotiating. And I got to tell you, all these public adjusters we have who help us with the insurance companies. That's a really big deal, and we've got to support these public adjusters. But it's a tough time, and there's no disguising it. This is the time that tries our souls. So we've got to come together, and we've got to be able to bitch a little bit too. You know, we've got to be able to complain, because it is a tough time, and it's not easy being displaced and living in other places, and kids going to different schools, and so many of our schools have burned down, and so many of our churches and our temples have been destroyed. So it's a tough time. But as I said, we've got to look up. We've got to hold on to each other. And I got to tell you something interesting. When it's tough times like this, people get a little nicer. A little nicer, actually.
We need more of that.
Yeah.
Yep, and I hope that it lasts, because we've got to help each other. We've got to be really nice and kind and good to each other.
Yeah.
And see what we can do for, because not only physically, but as you know, emotionally, we've got to take care of each other. We've got to hold each other. We've got to be a little more patient when we talk to each other. I'm not telling you anything, you know, I'm sure you've discussed on your program too. Psychologically, we've really got to be soft to each other and love each other and invite each other, you know.
Well, Steve, we ran out of time already, but we appreciate your words of wisdom. You know, we both looked at your social media. We know you're full of positive energy, which I'm sure is something that people are turning to right now and have been turning to for years to see. So we appreciate your time so much, and we wish you the best in your recovery efforts as well.
Thanks for having me on, and I always watch your show. You two are great, and everybody on your staff and your crew and your program, your station and your platform, you're terrific. Thanks for being so great and so wonderful.
Thank you so much. And we're fans of yours too. We love all your movies.
And that is your Monday morning TED Talk. Thanks, Steve.
Have a great one.